Let it deliver you into fall. Must be 21 to purchase. Free terms responsibly.
I want to break free.
Ready to break free? Make your dream vacation a reality with Norwegian Cruise Line and sail to the Caribbean, Europe, and more. With our leading health and safety program, you can cruise with the ultimate freedom and confidence. Book today and enjoy 30% off all cruises, free open bar, and much more. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Offer ends soon. Norwegian Cruise Line. Sail safe, feel free. Ships registry to Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
Termite problems? Search PacificCoastTermite.com or call 800-PACIFIC.
Live.
KFI AM 640.
Local.
And I'm our radio station.
Johnny Ken Show, John Cobell and Ken Shampoo, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Oh, we're going to the George Gascon recall desk. The LA County District Attorney has been sued by one of his own prosecutors, and that prosecutor's coming on the show. John Hatami, you may have heard the name. He's been involved in some very important, high-profile cases, including the death of Gabriel Fernandez at the hands of his mother and her live-in boyfriend. John Hatami, of course, is one of many assistant DAs who have fought George Gascon's policy changes, which, to put it mildly, go soft on criminals, even murderers. Hard to believe the world is upside down. As Steve Cooley, the former LA County DA, said once on our show, it's hard to believe what this man has done to absolutely derail the LA County criminal justice system. John Hatami's lawsuit is over retaliation and even racism. And you'll hear why he says that, the quote that he's using to support that allegation. We talked to John.
Yeah.
Right after the news.
Go to recallgeorgegascon.com. You can download the petition and sign it and mail it in. And they need money. Polling says that Gascon would be removed if we can get a vote. But to get a vote, we need signatures gathered. To get signatures gathered, they need money to hire the signature gatherers. So they really need money. This is serious here. It's only a couple of months left.
Last year, one of the big utilities, Southern California Gas Company, sued the State Energy Commission. Now, why would they do that? SoCal Gas, of course, is owned by Sempra Energy out of San Diego. It took in $4.5 billion in operating revenue last year. Well, it's because California considers itself among the country, if not the world's leaders, on climate change. And it now is involved in a war on natural gas. Eventually, they would like us to phase out the use of natural gas, described as a planet-warming fossil fuel.
That will never happen.
Used for heating, cooking, and power generation.
Based on the technology we have now, it is impossible for that to occur. So I don't know why this has to be said every day. What they claim, what they want. Today, they have a flex alert because they're running low on energy. And the only thing that will probably save us is they bought 5 new natural gas plants.
They're putting some back online, yeah.
Five more to give us more power because the wind and the solar are not making enough power. So this is a load of crap.
So natural gas is not coal. However, to the strict climate change crowd, it has still got to go. In fact, up in Berkeley, they were banning natural gas in new homes. They also got sued because, I'd forgotten about the restaurant people. They say it's very important to have natural gas for best cooking practices.
Oh, you know what? You just got to get it.
Sear the meat and the vegetables. And I remember when I was a kid, my mother was very angry. She didn't like our electric stove. She goes, gas just cooks better.
It does. I don't like electric stoves. We've had those.
Yeah.
Gas does cook better. Cooks much more evenly and easily. You know what? Yeah, if you run a restaurant in Berkeley, you deserve what you get. You got to get out of a city like that. Those people are crazy. We were talking about crazy religions before. This is crazy. This is insanity. They're not going to switch to all the gas, all the solar and wind they claim. It's impossible. And if the more they switch to wind and solar, the more blackouts we'll have. And they're violating their own edict because, like I said, they're firing up 5 new natural gas plants to
The
get us
Energy
through the
Commission
summer.
made a recent decision to push all electric buildings statewide.
Well,
Now, they stopped short of banning gas in new construction, but they approved rules that will require developers to include wiring that allows for later installation of electric heat pumps and cooktops.
it doesn't matter what California does. We're too small to have any effect on the globe and the climate. It's impossible. These are financial payoffs for the industries that are involved in this racket.
Yep.
It's going to make it's not going to make a degree's worth of difference or a tenth of a degree's worth of difference. It doesn't matter if we all shot ourselves in the head and committed mass suicide. California is too small a place on the globe for it to matter, and they know this. They know this. So this is just the harassment of a bunch of crazed climate fascists.
They reached some kind of settlement with the California Energy Commission, but it's not clear what it is. SoCalGas just dropped its lawsuit. And it says in the story they agreed to settle, but there are no details. I don't know what the details would be. The claim was that the state was filing their own law, which requires them to consider the benefits of natural gas. So, I mean, basically, SoCalGas is fighting for its life here, because if the state moves out of the natural gas business, the company will be defunct. That's the bottom line here. That's why they're fighting this. I mean, it's self-preservation as much as it's saying what John just said. We're going to need natural gas because electricity is not going to cut it.
They can't replace it. See, that's what's ridiculous. The state, these government officials like Newsom are trying to convince people that very quickly, very easily, we're going to switch to all wind and solar. That is
And it's
technologically.
going to not only power the homes, but the cars too. They want us to all drive electric cars.
It's not. That's impossible. I don't understand this. This is a fantasy religion.
Yeah.
And they know it's impossible.
So this is a pretty interesting battle to see play out because they're both, under the guise of state regulation. They've got to figure this out here. And they're going to try to move us away from natural gas. And if you're going to do that, how are you going to keep the state running?
Natural gas is cheap, it's plentiful, and it is much lower greenhouse gas emissions than coal. So it is a great source of energy. We have plenty of it. There's just, we're not going to run out of natural gas in our lifetime. It's not going to happen. We're well beyond that. So you use it, it's there. What's the point of not using it? Keep it underground? What's the benefit of that? I've never understood this. Oh, we're going to use up all the oil. Well, what benefit is to keep it underground? If it's there and it works, use it. There isn't a replacement right now.
As long as it's cheaper and more efficient, we're going to stay that way.
If you switch to solar and wind, that's going to result, and it already has, extraordinarily high electricity bills, power bills. And that hurts the middle class and the poor dramatically. It's a bad policy. It costs families a lot of money that they don't have to pay, that nobody else is paying in the rest of the country. Our bills are 60% higher than the rest of the country on average. 60% higher. But what are we getting out of this? We're not affecting the climate. Well, if we're not affecting the climate, why do it? In fact, this is another thing. Nobody ever asks all the idiots in the media. Why don't you ask all these officials, how much cooler is the Earth because California does so much solar and wind? How much cooler? Give us like a precise measurement here. They can't because it's had no effect. And that's the truth.
That we used to use is we were like 0.1% or even less than that of the world's emissions.
Well, I mean, there's what? There's 8 billion people in the world almost.
Yeah.
I mean, what's 8 billion, 800 million would be 10%, 80 million would be 1%. We're 40 million. We're 1/2 of 1% of the Earth's population.
All right, we got more coming up.
John and Ken, KFI, Deborah Mark has news.
The number of people in LA County testing positive for COVID-19 has dropped for the 8th straight day. Orange County Sheriff Don Barnes says deputies and their supervisors are now required to get vaccinated against COVID-19 if they work in the jails. Vice President Harris has joined Governor Newsom for an anti-recall rally in the Bay Area. We'll see what's happening on those roads, and we will check in with the KFI in the Sky next.
All right, if you're a self-employed entrepreneur, a 1099 contractor, a real estate investor, and let's say you've been denied for a home loan, a traditional loan, because you don't have tax returns, what do? Well, instead of tax returns, Equinox Home Financing uses personal or business bank statements to determine your cash flow. And your cash flow then becomes your income. Conventional lenders can't do this. So if you want to finally get qualified for a home loan, whether it's an owner-occupied house, a vacation or investment home, you can do it fast, you can do it at the lowest rates available. You talk to the people at Equinox Home Financing. 855-LOAN-455, 855-LOAN-455, EquinoxHomeFinancing.com, EquinoxHomeFinancing.com.
Licensed by the California Department of Real Estate and the California Department of Financial Oversight, NMLS number 1212-805.
Your neighborhood grocery outlet remains committed to providing you a clean and safe shopping experience. Their stores are locally owned and operated by people in your community, and they love helping you save money.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow, highs mid-80s to around 103. This report brought to you by Grocery Outlet. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We have a crash on the 134 in Glendale.
It's the westbound side right before San Fernando Road, crash in the 3 right lanes. Traffic stopping up all the way back from Glendale Avenue, so that's going to be with us for a little while with a big backup. KFI in the Sky, sponsored by injury attorney Superwoman, superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien checking out problems in Brea.
Yeah, we had some troubles here on the 57. 57 southbound approaching your Belinda Boulevard. Looks like they cleared through the right shoulder. Not really recovering too well. It's still heavy leaving the Brea Pass, starting at Lambert. Lambert on and off the brakes down into Orange Thorpe right before the 91 starts to loosen up there. Also, it looks like the 60 eastbound at just about Fullerton Road, heading into Roland Heights. That's a problem clearing from the right shoulder. That stretch is going to be heavy from Hacienda over to the 57. And it also looks like the 60 eastbound before you get that far. Very heavy stretch down from East LA Interchange over to about Paramount, actually closer to Santa Anita, where it starts to loosen up. Injured in an accident? Visit Superwoman, superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky.
And an earlier problem cleared in Long Beach, 710 northbound past PCH. Still, though, that is slow on the northbound 710 all the way back to the port area. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Kohlschreiber.
This report is sponsored by California Department of Housing and Community Development. City of Los Angeles renters and landlords impacted by COVID-19 can now get 100% of their rent paid through the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program. Apply at housingiskey.com today.
This is Leland Smith, owner of Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, and AC. And I know nobody wants to have a plumbing problem, but suppose you did. What would the perfect plumbing service experience look like? First of all, the technician would show up on time and be presentable, friendly, and wearing a clean uniform with an ID badge. Then they'd put drop cloth towels around the work area and have the right tools to do the job. And if they needed a part, they'd have it on their truck. They'd give you a price quote up front, and they'd stick to it. At the end of the job, they would clean up after themselves and leave the work area cleaner than they found it. That's the perfect plumbing service experience, and that's exactly what you can expect when you call Service Champions. For clogged drains or any plumbing problems, call us at 833-777-7777 or find us online at servicechampions.com.
Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, AC, and good clean water.
If you thought you missed the lowest mortgage rates in history, you're in luck, because they're back. Mortgage rates are near historic lows again. So if you have a mortgage, refinance it and forget it. You'll never have to worry about refinancing again. Network Capital Funding is offering a low 15-year fixed rate at 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Incredible! Network Capital has built a reputation for saving people time and money with our unique process that's fast, simple, and secure. Our 15-year fixed rate is 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Now, second chances don't come often, and you may never see these rates again. So refinance it and forget it. That's a 15-year fixed at 1.75%. Yes, 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Call the experts at Network Capital now. Call 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1-HIT. As in home run. Call now and save big on your refi. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1448.
NMLS ID 11712 is not licensed in all states. Visit NMLSconsumerAccess.org. Licensed by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation and the Financing Law. Number 603D787. And equal opportunity lender. Rates subject to change and may not be available at rate law. Discount policy apply. Subject to credit approval. Call 800-500-1448 for additional cost information.
Hi, it's Erin Andrews here for my friends at Cuddly. Each year, 6.5 million animals enter rescue centers looking for a second chance at life. The community on Cuddly helps these underdogs win. Cuddly champions animal rescues and makes it easy for you to donate essential items like food, toys, medication, and even surgery to the animal of your choice. Log on to Cuddly.com and learn how you can save a furry friend today.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save for details.
Attention homeowners, Interactive Mortgage has dropped rates again to a rock bottom 1.75% rate in APR. Yes, it's incredible. A rock bottom 1.75%. And if that's not enough, Interactive Mortgage will even pay your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. That's right, no points and no fees. Absolutely zero. Zilch. None. So what are you waiting for? Call now and take advantage of these never-before-offered rates. A 1.75% rate in APR with no fees whatsoever. Call Interactive Mortgage now at 844-371-CASH. That's 844-371-CASH. 844-371-2274. Or visit interactivemortgage.com.
Wingpoint Corporation, DBA Interactive Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender. Terms and conditions apply. New client total, loan amount $300,000 to $548,250. Minimum FICO of 740 and maximum LTV of 60%. All loans subject to underwriting approval, and not all applicants will qualify. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California Finance Law License Number 603F938. NMLS Number 302352.
Wake up call.
I get up at 2:45 so that you can sleep in until 4:59 so that you're ready to go for wake up call.
Mornings at 5 on KFI.
John and Ken Show. John Cobell and Ken Chiampos. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Guinea Vice President Kamala Harris came to the Bay Area today to campaign for Newsom. They were there together, charged up. We have some audio to play in the 5 o'clock hour. First, we'll be at the George Gascon recall desk. A lawsuit by one of his own prosecutors, a name familiar to John and Ken Show listeners, John Hatami. The LA County Assistant DA will join us after 5 o'clock to explain the basis of this lawsuit against his own DA's office. Speaking of Kamala Harris, last year she promoted something called the Minnesota Freedom Fund. The Minnesota Freedom Fund was to help post bail for people in Minnesota who apparently were too poor to afford it. She promoted it because it was the protesters with the whole...
She was trying to be really cool. And she wanted it a virtue signal.
Well, a Minneapolis-based TV station reported the fund had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to free an alleged knife murderer and a convicted rapist who are facing charges of sex assault and kidnapping, among others. But the story that's making the news this week is that the Minnesota Freedom Fund bailed out a guy who was accused in a domestic assault case. They got him bailed out, and not long after, he was driving around. He got into a road rage incident with another motorist and shot the other guy to death. He had been out on $11,500 bail in connection with the domestic assault case since August 6th. On August 29th, he's charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder by shooting another motorist who got into some sort of argument with. This is what happens when you decide, blank, point blank, everybody deserves bail, Everybody should be free to have their court appearance. It's just rich people who get away with this.
Well, this is going to happen over and over
This
again.
apparently is a guy with a temper problem.
Yeah, any of the sycophants in the California media are going to ask Kamala Harris today, since that was some of her money. She sent some of her money to this bail fund, to this group.
Well, she said she was doing it last year to help the protesters, but
it's all the same pot of money. It's all the same pot of money.
Right.
So this is what happens when you bail out bad guys. They run around and they do worse things. We got a murder in Sacramento this week over a bailed out felon. Now we've got this murder here.
He was a no bail felon. They didn't even bother with him. California, I mean, we keep voting against these no bail policies, but apparently they still exist.
Yeah.
Because apparently one of the high courts of the state ruled that it's up to a judge.
So when Kamala Harris was district attorney and later attorney general, did she ever promote this kind of nonsense? Did she promote the idea of bailing out or no bailing a criminal so that he could go out and murder somebody a short time later? I mean, this is what she believed when she was a prosecutor? Did she think felons ought to be released so they could go kill other people?
The answer from these groups to the Minnesota Freedom Fund put out a statement basically saying, we're aware of the tragic shooting, but we believe every individual who's been arrested by law enforcement is innocent or proven guilty, and if a judge says they're eligible for bail, they should not have to wait in jail.
Well, that's an insane point of view. Also, anybody track where all the money goes that is being contributed to this group? What are the salaries of the people who run this group?
Oh, the Minnesota Freedom Fund?
Yeah.
I'm sure it all goes to bail out worthy.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure. I mean, how many?
Why would you imply that anybody's receiving high pay to run this organization?
The woman up in Topanga's got that big mansion. From Black Lives Matter, yeah.
Oh, you like that story?
Oh, yeah, you do. Because
that's the national woman.
It's like the homeless racket, right? All these people who claim to want to help the homeless people, and they have their big salaries and their fake nonprofits. Like, people don't get that a percentage of these groups are making lots of money off these donations. It's pretty obvious that that's the purpose for some of these people. We don't know exactly how many.
All right, when we come back, the Gascon recall desk will roll out. We have another opportunity to talk to Deputy DA John Hatame, who's been fighting the policies of his boss ever since Gascon took office last December. John Hatame now has filed a lawsuit alleging retaliation, race discrimination, defamation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We'll tell you the story when we come back.
John and Ken Show, Deborah Marquez News. KFI
More informative, more engaging, more stimulating. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Going in the right direction. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. COVID-19 cases are trending downward in the LA area.
Hospitals in the Southland have seen a drop in COVID-positive patients for an 8th day in a row. Infections among healthcare workers have also been on their way down over the last few weeks. Numbers of patients in the ICU were slightly up yesterday over Monday. The Delta variant remains the dominant strain in the cases. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
The news is brought to you by Sunlight. Bella County Sheriff Villanueva from Phoenix Beach is on the road to recovery.
The sheriff says it was his first long-term visit since ordering his homeless outreach team to clean up the boardwalk.
It looks 100% better. The tourists were there, not a lot of foreign tourists yet, they're still scared, but at least the local tourists are there. I saw parents with little kids, I saw senior citizens with walkers and things.
Villanueva says a lot of the shops were open and restaurants were full, but he says the most impressive part of his visit,
I had the smell of the salt air, what a beach is supposed to smell like.
Steve Gregory, KFI News.
LAPD Chief Moore says he doesn't want to get into a turf war with LA County Sheriff Villanueva over cleaning up homeless camps.
There's confusion on this. I'm sure that there's some posturing by a number of individuals relative to roles, responsibilities, and what people are or aren't doing. I'll stand by our results.
Moore says he speaks with the sheriff every month about a number of issues, including homelessness. Moore says he respects the sheriff's jurisdiction over the county and wants to work together on a solution to clean up camps. Tropical storm Mindy has formed in the Gulf of Mexico, and it is heading for Florida.
It's the 13th named storm of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. Now, the usual date for the 13th named storm to form is October 24th, so we are well ahead of schedule, and this season is already well above normal.
ABC's Melissa Griffin says Mindy will move across northern Florida tonight. The storm is expected to drop up to 4 inches in some areas, which could cause flash flooding. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says more needs to be done to address climate change. Pelosi says the extreme weather this summer, including historic wildfires and intense hurricanes, shows that Mother Nature isn't happy.
And we owe it to our children to pass on a planet in a very responsible way.
President Biden also spoke about climate change yesterday while touring the damage left by Hurricane Ida in New York and New Jersey. Shoppers will soon be able to grab what they need and leave without having to open their wallets at a Whole Foods store in Sherman Oaks. Amazon has announced it will bring its cashierless technology to 2 Whole Foods stores for the first time next year. Cameras and sensors will track what's taken off the shelves, and items will be charged to an Amazon account after customers leave the store. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We have a crash on the 57 in Fullerton.
Stay with us for a little while here. Southbound side of the 57, Yorba Linda Boulevard. Crash there in the 2 left lanes. You're going to find slowing starting from at least Imperial Highway on that southbound 57. KFI in the Sky, sponsored by injury attorney, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien looking at things in East LA.
And a really tough drive for the 60 today. 60 eastbound, it jams up right about Whittier, Lorena there, right off the East LA interchange. That first stretch, very heavy to a construction zone that kind of continues and been going on several weeks now. Out towards Montebello, and it's about Santa Anita where it starts to break free. It'll be back on the brakes from Hacienda Boulevard to the 57 merge. North 57, that's still a tough one from Diamond Bar Boulevard, working our way up to Grand in that merge with the 60. And also, it looks like the eastbound 10, very tough out of Santa Monica, starting before Cloverfield. That's going to be a tough one into downtown Los Angeles from there. Injured in an accident? Visit Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky.
We had an earlier problem northbound side of the 710 right near the 405. Looks like it's cleared, but traffic's still terrible out of the port area. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Kohlschreiber.
Want to sell your house or condo fast, easy? You call Seller's Advantage, and they'll buy your home as is for cash. The Seller's Advantage, there's no realtor fees or commission, no escrow fees, no repairs needed, no open houses, no weird strangers coming through your home. They'll buy your house or condo for cash. David and Doug from Seller's Advantage bought a house from one of our KFI listeners. Guy wanted to sell, met with some real estate agents. Boy, I just can't do this anymore. You want to take over? You want to read the rest of this?
Sure.
The owner wanted to sell the house. He met with some real estate agents, compared the numbers, and went with Seller's Advantage. He ended up with the same money, same bottom line, and no repairs, no headaches, no open houses, and no hassle. Working with Seller's Advantage was the easiest real estate transaction he's ever completed. So if you want to sell your house, you call Seller's Advantage and see how much it's worth. Call now for the free quote, 888-321-AS-IS, 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 BRE number 01961658, sellersadvantage.com.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
The KFI Financial Report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow closed down 69, S&P 500 down 6, NASDAQ down 88, and the average price of a gallon of regular gas in California is $4.39.
With a range of commercial fire and security solutions, Bay Alarm can protect it all with just one call.
Southland weather from KFI is going to be hot tomorrow. We're looking at highs mid-70s to around 80 at the beaches, mid-80s to low 90s for Metro LA, low 90s to 103 in the valleys, upper 80s to low 90s for Inland OC, 98 to 103 in the IE. Right now, it's 73 in Seal Beach, it's 82 in Costa Mesa, 92 in North Hollywood, and 67 in Santa Monica. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Deborah Mark.
We need to move our criminal justice system into the direction of the 21st century.
The public should be outraged by this.
We need to use science and data in order to address public safety, or violent crime.
His data and science is completely flawed.
Your data and your science is dangerous to the communities of this county.
We are very, very concerned about his policies.
You will see that not only have I enhanced public safety,
I am absolutely outraged at the lies that Mr. Gascon is spewing.
He has no business implementing laws of his own personal choice, which we voted against.
we've done so in a way that is much more both fiscally and socially responsible.
Not only is he breaking the law, but he is not doing what he is supposed to do as a district attorney, and that is protect his victims.
I truly believe that he is in the wrong office. He should have been a public defender.
He's voted in, he can be voted out.
Celebrating us going home on this Gaskin direct.
Crime is at a historic low in this nation, is at historic lows in the state.
That's a bunch of baloney to me.
And now, for an update on the recall of LA County District Attorney George Gascon, here's John and Ken.
Recall GeorgeGascon.com. The polling says we can get Gascon removed. That's what the public wants. The issue is getting money donated to higher signature gatherers. Recall GeorgeGascon.com. There's a donate button there. So if somebody's is in the mood for a big check, it really would do a lot of good to get this done.
George Gascon ran on a platform of this horrific titled criminal justice reform. Even people that voted for him had no idea what he was planning in dismantling the criminal justice system in LA County with his directives. A big one was eliminating sentencing enhancements, which add significant prison time. Of course, he has no interest in the death penalty. All he wants to do is chase after police officers. That's the big thing. He wants to stop enforcing California's three strikes law, all of this stuff. That's what Gascon has decided to do to LA County legal system.
One of his most public internal critics has been the deputy DA, John Hatami.
John Hatami represented family of little children that were killed at the hands of their mothers and their live-in boyfriends. He was the lead prosecutor in the trial of Isoro Aguirre and Pearl Fernandez, who got death and life in prison without parole for the death of the 8-year-old son, Gabriel. That's Pearl Fernandez's son.
And then he's also the prosecutor in the case of Jose Cuatro and Maria Juarez, charged with murder and torture in the death of their 4-year-old son, Noah Cuatro.
Now, he's in the news today because he has sued his boss. He's suing Los Angeles County, alleging that he's been defamed, denied promotion, and had his fitness to practice law questioned because he's been a critic of Gascon's policy.
He's alleging retaliation, race discrimination, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress. John Hatami, welcome again to the show. How are you?
That's good to hear. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing okay. I try to live day to day. It's a little tough in the office right now. The morale with the deputy district attorneys is very, very low. The fact of the matter is that many of us feel that we can't do our job right now. We can't fight for victims and survivors and help make Los Angeles safer because we have a DA who is very pro-criminal and anti-victim. Me personally, I've dedicated over 15 years of my life to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Over a decade of that has been fighting for justice for abused children. And in a matter of about 8 months, pretty much my entire world was turned upside down by George Gascon. He called me names, he put me down, and he said bad things about my cases. He said derogatory things about me. He hasn't really refusing to promote me, passionate for promotion. And that really affects the amount of money I make and being able to raise my children, my family, and pay for my mortgage and pay for food. my mental health is, it's been difficult. It's even tough going to work every day. When you're afraid that, you know, my office is going to be gone, my cases are going to be gone, I'm going to be moved somewhere, and that's a lot of anxiety and stress that you have to deal with. But I'm going to keep fighting, and no matter what, I'll come to work every day, no matter what, I'm going to be professional, and no matter what, I'm going to fight for the children in my cases.
Describe the retaliation that you put in complaint.
So basically, on December the 15th, I was the pretty much first and lone employee who came forward. I got on the ABC, and I told ABC I wasn't going to follow Judge Gaston's directive, specifically the case about U.S. employee was tortured and murdered. He wanted me to remove his stripes on that case, and I went to that autopsy, and I filed that case. And there was no way that I was going to turn back around and remove those allegations which were 100% provable and which were